In a nuclear generator, neutrons are sent towards atoms in order to split them and have them release energy. Uranium-235 is usually used. Uranium-235 is an isotope of uranium. Isotopes are different versions of elements. The different versions contain the same amount of protons and electrons, but a different number of neutrons. Uranium-235 is ideal for nuclear power because it can be induced to split. The atom absorbs the neutron, becomes unstable, and splits. This is called nuclear fission. The nuclear potential energy stored in the nucleus of this atom turns into thermal energy and helps heat a tank of water. Remember that atom that split? Well, it sends neutrons to be absorbed by other atoms, causing them to split. And those ones send neutrons, causing other atoms to split. And those ones send neutrons, causing other atoms to split. This is called a chain reaction. Long story short, that tank of water I mentioned gets hot. To help keep this chain reaction under regulation, control rods are filled with certain elements that absorb some of these neutrons. They control the neutron flux, which is the amount of neutrons that will split more atoms. Anyways, steam rises from the really hot water. It has an extremely high amount of energy. As we know, water has a high latent heat of vaporization. This means that the energy needed to produce steam is lots. The thermal and kinetic energy are converted into mechanical, kinetic, energy in a turbine. It is then converted into electrical energy for us to use. In fact, more than 50% of the electricity in Ontario comes from nuclear power plants. Nuclear energy has some disadvantages. One is that nuclear power plant technology is very similar to technology used to produce nuclear bombs, so it's really hard to tell the difference between a nuclear weapons generation program or peaceful use of nuclear energy to produce electricity. Another major con is the problem with nuclear waste. Radioactive and poisonous materials are the waste products that come from the nuclear energy production process. It takes tens of thousands of years for this waste to stop being dangerous. Remember Fukushima? It started leaking in 2011. It was still leaking 5 years later. Nevertheless, nuclear energy is a relatively cheaper form of energy production than its competitors. And even though there have been major disasters, it is so much safer than burning fossil fuels. We remember huge nuclear leaks and disasters, but we forget that fossil fuel usage pumps dangerous gases into the air that we breathe and causes lots of life-threatening illnesses. Also, using nuclear energy instead of fossil fuels lessens the potential greenhouse gas emissions.